In 1998, Monica Lewinsky couldn't leave her apartment without cameras following her. Every late-night host mocked her, every newspaper printed her name. She was offered fortune after fortune to tell her story. One interview alone paid her $1 million. Her book deal was worth $500,000. But something strange happened. The money disappeared almost as fast as it came. Today, her bank account holds a number that doesn't match her fame. And the reason why changes everything you thought you knew. On July 23, 1973, Monica Lewinsky came into the world in San Francisco. Her father, Bernard Lewinsky, was a wealthy cancer doctor. His family had escaped the Nazis in the 1920s, first fleeing to El Salvador, then to the U.S. when Bernard was just 14. On her mother's side, things were just as unusual. Monica's grandfather was a Lithuanian Jew. Her grandmother was born in Chennai, the British-controlled city of Tianjin, to Russian Jewish parents. These roots were filled with survival and reinvention, and Monica would carry that energy forward. Her mother, Marcia Lewis, wasn't just a homemaker. She chased fame too, writing a book in 1996 about the three tenors. It was clear from the beginning this was a family tied to celebrity, ambition, and scandal. She grew up in Beverly Hills inside a Spanish-style mansion worth $1.6 million in the 1980s. Her dad's clinic brought in $37,000 a month, that's over $400,000 a year. They spent big $20,000 a year on vacations, drove Cadillacs and Mercedes, and went to the symphony. Monica's own expenses were outrageous for a team. $720 a month for tennis lessons, $300 for a babysitter, $100 just for her hair. She went to elite schools, first Sinai Akiba, then John Thomas Dye Bear. Her classmates were children of Hollywood producers. Kids got luxury cars for their 16th birthdays. It was a dream world. But behind the gates, things were breaking. Everything collapsed when Monica was 14. Her parents' marriage blew apart in 1987. The divorce was vicious. Marcia accused her husband of cheating and even buying gifts for his mistress from Tiffany and Louis Vuitton. There were violent outbursts. Monica heard her father yell things like, "You're a moron." He banned the kids from speaking at dinner. The therapy bills alone were $1,800 a month. Monica had her own sessions costing $700 to $60. Years later, caught on tape, she admitted, "I was brought up with lies. I have lied my entire life." It wasn't just a broken home. It was emotional chaos, and it planted a dangerous seed. Monica learned early how power, pain, and dishonesty can become twisted together. At school, Monica tried to escape into theater. She joined a tight-knit drama group and found comfort there. But when their drama teacher died by suicide, it hit her hard. She transferred out of Beverly Hills High and went to Bear Prep, an expensive school known for taking in troubled, rich kids. It cost $12,000 a year and only had 7 seniors. Monica was one of them. She dove into choir, art, and drama, eventually becoming valedictorian. Her yearbook hinted at her ambitions. She quoted Ezra Pound and Dr. Seuss. Her classmates thought she'd be famous one day. They were right, but no one predicted what came next. When Monica was 19, she began a 5-year affair with her former high school drama teacher. His name was Andy Bleer. He was 40, married with kids. Monica followed him all the way to Portland, Oregon, when she started college at Lewis and Clark. Incredibly, Bleer moved his whole family there, too. Monica even babysat for them while still sleeping with him. She was friends with his wife. The situation was twisted. Bleer's lawyer later said Monica was obsessed with sex and had a habit of exaggerating things to boost her own image. Before leaving for Washington, D.C., she told the Bleers, "I'm going to the White House to get my presidential knee pads." She would call Bleer up to 5 times a day. Even while getting involved with President Clinton, she kept reporting everything back to Andy, venting that Clinton only wanted oral sex. The pattern was clear. Monica sought power, danger, and validation from older men who were already taken. At Lewis and Clark, Monica studied psychology. It made sense. She was fascinated with people, emotions, and control. She even dreamed of working for the FBI. Ironically, she later said, "I did work with the FBI as a federal target." She had a loud, friendly personality. Professors said she was the kind of person who'd start talking to you out of nowhere. But friends noticed something darker. She couldn't keep secrets. She gossiped. She openly talked about the affair with Blair. The stress drove her to therapy. She was trying to understand herself even as she kept spiraling. She graduated in 1995 at age 22 with a degree in psychology. Despite everything, she made the dean's list. In her final year, she juggled 3 jobs. She sold ties at a downtown kiosk. She did a practicum at a mental health center, though she didn't do well there. And she interned at a legal aid group where she compiled data to help people avoid jail time. Her heart seemed to be in the right place. She wanted to help others. She just didn't know how to help herself. Then came the twist of fate. 1 month after graduating, Monica landed an unpaid internship at the White House. She got the job through a powerful friend of her mother's, a Democratic donor. The internship was in the office of Leon Panetta, Clinton's chief of staff. She had no political experience, no special qualifications, just a degree and the right connections. In November 1995, most White House staff were sent home when the federal government shut down for a week, but unpaid interns like Monica Lewinsky were asked to stay. She had just started working there a little over a month before, but now she was one of the few people left in the West Wing. That's when the president began showing up more often. With most staff gone, Bill Clinton walked into the chief of staff's office regularly, and that's where he started to notice her. She was just 22. He was 49. Over the next few days, she caught his eye again and again. One moment stood out. At a small birthday party, Lewinsky noticed her underwear straps were visible above her pants. She saw him looking and she chose not to adjust them. Later, Clinton called her into an office. Her heart, she said, was pounding. People noticed. One advisor even joked she was getting more FaceTime with the president than most senior staff. Others were disturbed. The attention wasn't subtle, and soon staff began quietly looking for ways to move her out of the building. But it was too late. On November 15, 1995, just days after that birthday party, Lewinsky entered the White House around 1:30 in the afternoon. She left briefly, came back at 5:07 p.m., and didn't leave until 12:18 a.m. The president was there, too. His schedule lined up almost exactly. That night, their relationship began. He was old enough to be her father, the most powerful man in the world. She was a junior intern. And what happened between them that night would change both off-air lives and American politics forever. Over the next 18 months, there would be 9 documented sexual encounters. Most happened in or near the Oval Office, even in George Stephanopoulos' office. One time he unbuttoned her dress from her neck to her ankles. Another time he recited her phone numbers from memory. They shared more than physical encounters. There were gifts, lots of them. She gave him designer ties, books, a Sherlock Holmes game, and even frog-themed items. He gave her cigars, poetry books, and stuffed animals from Martha's Vineyard. Clinton stood at a White House podium next to his wife, Hillary. With the cameras rolling and the world watching, he looked straight ahead and said clearly, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." He repeated it again slowly. "These allegations are false," he added before ending with, "I need to go back to work for the American people." It sounded confident. It sounded final, but it wasn't the truth. He never said her first name. He just called her that woman. At 24, Monica Lewinsky had been reduced to a political threat, not a person. Clinton's team had carefully shaped every word. The phrase sexual relations was defined in such a narrow way, it didn't include oral sex. So technically, he wasn't lying, at least not by legal standards. But to millions of Americans and especially to Monica, it was a brutal betrayal. And it was just the beginning. The scandal exploded 9 days earlier on January 17, 1998, when the Drudge Report leaked the story. Almost overnight, Monica became one of the most talked about women in America. But not in a good way. Cameras lined the streets outside her building. Journalists followed her everywhere. She was trapped inside her mother's apartment, only allowed out for doctor's visits and short supervised walks. Her clothing was dissected. Her movements were tracked. Her name was mocked nightly by comedians. She later said, "He was arguably the most humiliated person in the world." It wasn't an exaggeration. This all happened in the early days of the internet. Social media didn't exist yet, but the online world was already cruel. Lewinsky became the first public figure to experience digital shaming on a global scale. And behind the scenes, it was even worse. The White House had a plan. Make Monica look crazy. Officials close to Clinton painted her as obsessed, unstable, delusional. Hillary Clinton reportedly called her a narcissistic Looney Tune. Allies in the press picked up the script. Soon Monica was being described as a stalker, a liar, a home wrecker. They said she made it all up. Years later, she called it what it was, gaslighting. The goal wasn't just to protect Clinton's presidency. It was to crush her credibility. And for a while, it worked. The public didn't know what to believe. Privately, the toll on Monica was devastating. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. And the thought that haunted her most was simple and terrifying: I want to die. Though she never made an attempt, the fear was real. Her mother, Marcia Lewis, didn't leave her side. She stayed by her bed at night. She kept the bathroom door open when Monica showered. She was terrified that humiliation might kill her daughter. And in many ways, it almost did. For 6 long months, Monica Lewinsky was trapped. She had lied under oath and was scared the law would come crashing down on her. But everything changed on July 28, 1998. That was the day she finally agreed to testify in front of a grand jury. In return, she got a rare deal: complete immunity. Monica was just 25, a former White House intern. Her lawyers had begged for a deal for months. Finally, in a private meeting in New York, she showed Kenneth Starr's prosecutors that she was ready to talk. She didn't hold anything back, and they gave her what's called transactional immunity. That meant they couldn't charge her with anything related to the 6-month investigation. No perjury, no obstruction of justice, nothing. It mattered because Monica had signed a sworn statement back in January saying she never had a sexual relationship with the president. That was a lie. She also helped Linda Tripp come up with talking points to deny knowing about another woman's claims. That could have been obstruction. But thanks to the deal, Monica was safe as long as she told the truth. If she lied again, even slightly, the deal would vanish. Then came the president's turn. On August 17, 1998, Bill Clinton testified under oath. What he said would go down in history. When asked about telling aides, "There's nothing going on between us," he paused. And then he gave a strange answer. It depends on what the meaning of the word is. He wasn't joking. He said that if it meant right now, then his denial was technically true. But if it meant ever, well, that was different. Reporters were stunned, comedians had a field day. But behind the laughs, Clinton was trying something serious. Using tricky wording to dodge the truth. He claimed he wasn't lying, just choosing words carefully. Even when he told PBS, "There is no improper relationship," he knew it wasn't a lie if he focused only on the present moment. Some called him clever. Others called him shameless. Many just called him Existential Willie. But Congress wasn't laughing. On December 19, 1998, the House of Representatives voted to impeach President Clinton. 2 charges: first, perjury. Second, obstruction of justice. Both linked directly to the Lewinsky case. The Starr report had laid it out. Clinton had lied about his relationship, lied in the Paula Jones case, let his lawyer give false info to a judge, and tried to influence witnesses. That was the heart of Article 1 and Article 2. The charges said Clinton had undermined the integrity of his office and betrayed his trust. But when the case reached the Senate, it didn't go